set gasoline on fire. They don't believe that. Of course, they say, being raised by you, Dad, it's just like being thrown in a ditch with gasoline on us, setting us on fire. That's what they say. I don't really believe that. You know, now I don't mean to embarrass you, Megan, but I remember 3 years ago, Megan is in a meeting with me in Angus, and I'm screaming at some guy. Remember that day?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I'm not trying to embarrass you, but and I forget what I was screaming at him for. But basically, I was saying he was some sort of asshole or something. And Megan was kind of a genteel person in those days. And I don't know if she had never heard anybody treated that way, or she had never heard anybody raise their voice that way. But whatever the reason, later on in the day, I asked Angus, who's our controller here, where'd Megan go? Well, Megan went home. She had a migraine, right? Yeah, a migraine headache. I wasn't yelling at you, was I? No. I was yelling at this other asshole. But unless you, and I wasn't really upset. When I'm upset, you know, I'm like Jobs or Ballmer. I throw shit and beat him and choke him. So I wasn't really upset, but I was making sure this guy I got this guy's attention, a little prick. And but now she's the manager of the castle, and she's dealt with a Glasgow drunk bums that come here for weddings, and what do they call them? Bridezillas?
Yeah, Bridezilla.
Bridezilla, the mothers of the bride. When we went it out to the, which apparently, I've met one, but they've never been not nice to me. But apparently they can be not nice. If their little daughter's wedding isn't going the way they see it. But I sit in my office and people used to, when I'd be here during an event, they come and knock on my window and I'm there, who are these guys? I don't want to talk to these people, But getting back to what we're talking about, you need to make sure that you understand that all the things we've talked about so far in leadership are your responsibility. And, although all of you may not choose to use the Dream Team, I highly recommend it if you want to really get big. Because nobody's ever going to give you $400, $500, $600 million or whatever on your own bat. That's a cricket term. On your own, just not going to happen. And without a Big Four accounting firm and big law firm, it's not going to happen. And it also is the fastest way to grow. We have significant proof and examples that it does work. A real crucial thing to remember, and we've had plenty of examples of people that have, done spectacularly well, within just a few months. Marcus has grown his business 700%. Even Patrick, I say even not because he's stupid or anything, but even Patrick in the last 5 months has doubled his business from May. And other people. And I've talked about the one guy with 1 O-level who did a $600 million deal in Crestacare. But you need to adapt it, if not to your personality, you need to have the personalities that can make these things happen. And normally that is like we talked about, the commanders, the motivators, the strategists, etc. And though some of you said that you fell into the Jack Welch category, which is a commander, which I think that's my personality, there's a difference between saying you're a commander and acting like a commander. There's a big difference. Okay, I've said, not just because Marcus is here, Marcus seems to be attracted to this method of leadership better than most, and that's because of his personality. Okay, and I attribute that rightly or wrongly because of one day long ago he was an athlete. One day long ago, right? Right. Yeah, that's his brother. That's his kid brother. Okay. And so you learn the discipline and the focus from your athletic days. And again, as I've said, if I had a modicum of athletic talent, I for sure would have been in the Olympics because I certainly had the heart. But everybody isn't going to be what you want them to be. And for people that are in business like Doris, who've been in business a long time, and I'm going to give you this article before from the Harvard Business Review. And I say unashamedly, because the Harvard School agrees with me, it's probably doesn't make sense anymore. Because when one of the big B schools catches up with me, I'm probably out of date. I probably ought to change my tune about this shit now. But it says basically the average manager is even more detrimental to your business than the average employee than even I thought. I always know they weren't worth a shit, but I didn't realize how not worth the shit they were. And and I think it's just ironic that, you know, on the day that I'm going to talk about this stuff, it comes out in the blog. And I assume the blog is lower than the Harvard Business Review, although it's the Harvard Business Review blog. So does that mean that people that write the blog are from the Harvard Business Review? Okay, so it's allegedly, purportedly, ostensibly smart people. Okay, but they say how detrimental, and they do some some math, some funny math to come up with the reason that just they're even more detrimental than I thought. Now Megan hears me scream about, you know, we ought to be able to do more. It's you heard, right? You put your timelines together. I want to, you know, and I've got her on a timeline and all that. And she's not old enough to be fucked up yet. Okay. Once you've lived in Scotland long enough, you're fucked up. You're not retrievable. You know that's it. But I got her young. She was just a kid out of uni, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. So she wasn't that old. She's still not that old. But but most of the people you're dealing with, you haven't gotten right out of school. Now Attila's got a chance because he just got out of school, right, Attila? Okay, he's got a chance. You know, some of you that are older than that, you know, Benoit thinks he's God's gift to Wall Street, so I don't know if he's got a chance or not. But he's young enough. He's young enough. Okay, whether he's retrainable or not, I'm not sure. Okay, only time will tell. Okay, but people like Doris and myself. And that's one of the reasons Doris keeps coming back, because she needs the taser, you know, she needs the shock therapy again and again. And Robert, he needs it, you know, he's been here forever, he needs the taser over and over again. But what you'll find is, I can guarantee, and I don't give any guarantees, is that if your organizations work under the same system, you'll be geometrically more successful. Okay? Mark, you and your brother, by the end of the week, are all going to be, God willing, on the same path. And it's going to be easier to explain. As I said sarcastically during the break, these guys speak pretty good English. I mean, you, you know, and better than you did when you first came here. And I still remember talking to you, like in your letter, does he speak good enough English to come here, remember? And you said yes. Okay? And you were right, and thanks for, you know, helping, giving them the right information. But whether you speak English or you speak German, or you speak Romanian, or you speak Hungarian, or whatever the hell you speak, it's the people, when you go back to implement this, nobody's going to believe that average is so bad. But what apparently is even worse than an average employee is an average manager. I hadn't really thought that through, ever. Average managers, or even above average managers, are worse than average employees, according to the Harvard Business Review. And the more I think of it, the more it makes sense. Because they impact all the people. I hadn't really thought about it, because mostly I bitch about employees. So, the next 3 days, will focus on, we're finishing up leadership. We're going to have more role-playing tomorrow, and we're going to focus on how you make this model work for you as an individual, given your personality. Marcus's personality is more like mine, so it's not so difficult for him to make some of these adjustments. In fact, for some cases, the way I say it is not aggressive enough. Now, he said you're more aggressive than he is. Okay, well, there's no problem being more aggressive. We have to make adjustments for those of you that are less aggressive. Because, like, you know, in certain circles, like when I was meeting with the BMW, I made the points. I didn't scream at them, though. I made the points. I screamed at the lawyer, though, beforehand. you know, because I said, you know, and because I said I want you to translate, even though they spoke English. All these assholes spoke English. I go with the lawyer, and the lawyer would say it in German. But all of them speak English. But, you know, that's kind of their coping mechanism, just in case they don't want to understand. And so, because he told me when we started the meeting, he says, Dan, they all speak English. Okay, but they're going to have me translate. I said, okay. So that was fine. I don't have a problem with that. So, when you get back, you're going to be like going through you're going to be the translator for this information. You're going to be the ones that look for the responsibility, the focus, and the accountability. And people don't like to be made accountable, don't like to be made responsible if they've been in their current positions for any length of time, and nobody's made them accountable and nobody's made them responsible. Okay? Any questions?
One question.
Yes? Is this a Chip's question?
No, I was curious about the comments.
Okay, what?
There are 14 comments on this article.
I didn't put those. No. But you can get the article. All you got to do is go. Yeah. No, these are comments from other people.
I was curious.
Yeah, but see. Interestingly enough, I don't give a fuck about the comments from the other people, because some idiot from Harvard, some doofus from the Financial Times, some guy from Deutsche Bank. I mean, who gives a shit? I agree with what you say. I know intuitively from 40 plus years experience what they say is correct in that blog. Okay. Now, I used to get the Harvard Business Review. I think it comes out monthly, and they've got a second Harvard Business Review comes out quarterly. And but now it's all online. You know. So now, and then I discovered a while back that, you know, I get their tweets and their important stuff. They tweet out to everybody, and so now I read. I only follow maybe 20 tweets, and one of them is CNN, one of them is Charlie Rose, one of them is the Harvard Business Review, and a few others. And you know, it's a pretty good system. It gets out the information. And I'm not just giving you that because it's self-serving, because it agrees with me, but it is what it is. And when I come into a new company, just as this deal I alluded to, and since this is going to be on YouTube, I'm not going to mention the names. This big oil and gas deal that I've been asked to look at, I'm positive there have been people there 20, 25, 30 years. I'm positive. I'm positive that they're all scared for their lives. I'm positive that some of them are worried that it's going to get closed down and they're not going to get their pension. I'm positive that the bank and the management that's left has lied to them. Those are givens. I'm dead positive about all that. Okay. So now you go in and overcome all that. I'm positive if my name's leaked out, they know that, you know, like I'm Attila the Hun, you know, or Alexander the Great, or whoever, you know. I'm positive of that, and you know, they've Googled and they've seen some of the things that I've done. So I'll have to overcome all that, and so that's even makes it more of a challenge for me. And you know that, and the fact that it's in a country that I've been successful in makes it fun. But if no questions, I'm seeing who at 6:30. Okay, and you at 7:30. If there's no other questions, thank you very much.